Hello everybody, and welcome back to your daily tarot reading for Sunday, September 13th, 2020. Let's get these cards shuffled up and let's see what our Sunday is going to be all about, shall we? What kind of gameplay we want to put in play, what kind of strategies, maybe things that we want to look out for, who knows? Let's see what we have going on. I know if you're like me, Sunday is actually my Monday. I go back to work today, so we'll see how that goes for me as well. Let's get our first pile down. Our second pile. And finally now, our last pile. And let's see. I'm kind of feeling the first pile here, so let's see what we have for a card, shall we? We have the Knight of Pentacles. So let's talk a bit about this Minor Arcana card, also a occult card, and let's see what we can come up with for ideas, for strategies, and things that we want to keep in mind. So when we look at the Knight of Pentacles, some of the first things that pop up for me anyway, from a key point standpoint, or key word standpoint, I should say, is being patient, being practical, being loyal, being responsible, persistence, protective and defensive, conservative, if not stubborn, ambitious, hardworking, being grounded, down to earth with nature, and, you know, just all in all, doing well for oneself, abundance and profit. So when we look at this card, it's Pentacles, and that's an earth card, right? But along with that, it's night, which the energy of a night is fire. When we look at it from the elemental standpoint, some things to consider and to think about is, number one, you want to take your time. You want to think things through, and you want to utilize slow and steady energy. If you're waiting for word on something, because it's a night, it's letting you know that there is a message or word coming your way. Now, from a shadow standpoint, some things we want to consider. You don't want to hyper-focus on any one thing because it steals the attention away from other important matters. So obviously, keep an eye out for that sort of thing. Also, you don't want to be overly concerned with material objects or the material realm. You still got to consider and still got to balance out your spiritual side, your spirituality, as you go forward with trying to obtain things from a material standpoint. And you want to be really guarded against just looking at the dark side of life all the time and looking at the darker side of things all the time. Again, it's about balance. It's about looking at both sides, light and dark, and probably even working a little bit with the gray side, right? So some things to consider on this day is take some time to rest and regroup. If you've got a lot of stuff going on, if people are awaiting an action or a word from you, take some time out, rest, regroup, and consider what's next for you, what your response should be, and how you want to go about whatever the objective is that you've set forward for yourself. Also understand that in this time, with this energy, you may be needing to take a protective or a defensive stance in some circumstances popping up. And again, sometimes when we take a defensive stance, the best thing to do is inaction and just wait to see what's actually going to happen next. Same thing goes with protective. We don't need to strike first as much as we need to be aware that there may be a situation we want to put a little bit of attention into. And we do want rest, we do want to regroup, and we do want to consider and think before we act, of course. However, be aware that resting too long, there's not so much being rested as much as it is being paralyzed. You don't need to be paralyzed with fear. Now, some of the other things to consider about this, obviously I said Pentacles is an earth card, but the signs related to Pentacles is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Utilize that information as you'd like. But long story short, It's a good card for a Sunday. It's about rest. It's about regrouping. It's about thinking about your next action and what you want to do. It's trying to remind you, don't get so hyper-focused on one thing that you're losing attention over matters that are really important to you. In other words, enjoy some of the moments that are around you and look a little bit for some things that are going to kindle you and get you ready for your work week. And take your time, think things through, and slow and steady energy is the way to go on this weekend, on this day. So I hope you enjoyed your reading for today. I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow. Until then, be safe, be well, and be blessed.